I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ. The picture is clear at GoPro and investors don't like it.
I'm Patricia Wu at the New York Stock Exchange. Is ShakeShack on its way to world domination? Plus the hot toy of the holiday season. 22 small cap companies make them. We'll tell you what it is.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. A Bay Area biopharma traded higher in its market debut. And consolidation in the semiconductor space keeps on moving markets. See how buyout speculation is affecting chip makers.
Hello and welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. GoPro shares crashed to an all-time low today. Shares in the digital camera maker were down as much as 18% on Thursday following yesterday's plunge after the company reported a miss on earnings and offered weak guidance. The company launched a couple of products in the past quarter, including the Hero 4 Session, its smallest offering yet. A Morgan Stanley analyst thought it was a flop. GoPro reduced the price by $100 to $299 after what they called disappointing demand. Then there was the brutal Barron's magazine article in September which forecast that GoPro shares could plunge to $25, right about where the shares dropped to after the company did report its earnings. Well, Yelp, which became popular as a way for people to rate local businesses, reported another quarterly loss on sharply higher costs as the company tries to revamp its operations. Revenue, however, jumped 40%. That topped the company's projection and bolstered by a 30% increase in revenue from local advertising. Now, the company's stock, which has lost nearly 60% of its value this year. The bulk of the costs in the latest period, company executives said, were tied to a national advertising campaign that was launched during the quarter and also higher than projected hiring of local sales representatives. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings stock traded sharply lower after the company reported profit and sales that missed analysts' expectations. Buffalo Wild Wings' forward-looking guidance also was weaker than expected, with management citing a shift in the calendar that has led to one less week of football and fewer pay-per-view events. CEO Sally Smith said based on the year-to-date results and updated outlook for the fourth quarter, they're now anticipating single-digit net earnings growth for the rest of this year. Well, we are still in the thick of earnings season and lots of small cap stocks reporting today. So here's a rundown. Nutrisystem lowered its earnings guidance. On assignment earnings beat expectations. Vico Instruments missed its earnings but set a stock buyback. In Vensense, revenue topped estimates. Lannett sales were above estimates. Nice Systems increased profit and revenue guidance. Chart Industries missed earnings. PBF Energy declared a dividend. National Pen Bank shares posted a profit increase. And LifeLock boosted its yearly view after beating expectations. Meanwhile, LifeLock, the provider of identity theft protection services, also reported third quarter growth in revenue, members, and adjusted earnings. The FTC had alleged that LifeLock failed to establish a comprehensive security program that did not meet record-keeping requirements and made false advertisements about its services. The agency alleged LifeLock didn't comply with the terms of a 2010 settlement. LifeLock said in a statement in July that it disagreed with the FTC's contentions. And gold, anyone? Newmont Mining's third quarter profit rose as higher production and sales helped offset lower gold prices. Gold production also rose. Gold prices, though, sunk to five-year lows this summer, weighed down by the strength of the U.S. dollar and speculation that the Federal Reserve would increase interest rates for the first time in more than 9 years. Patricia Wu and Alan Valdez at the New York Stock Exchange with what Wall Street is watching today.
Hi, Jane. We're going to talk about burgers and drones today. I'm here with Alan Valdez. And we're going to start with ShakeShack. It started as one single food cart in New York City in 2004.
Without a doubt. I mean, I used to go to school down the street from there, so I used to walk by Madison Park. That's where it started, in Madison Park, and it was just a cart in 2004. But it was a genius that was running it. I mean, Myers, incredible. And he took that from that little cart to where he's got about 57 restaurants here in the United States, and now they want to go worldwide. They want to go globally. And what could be better? Shakes and burgers. I mean, come on, the ultimate comfort food. So I think it's going to have a nice run. Basically, each store in New York does about $5 million. It's incredible, you know? I mean, it's even doing better than Chipotle chicken, which I go buy Chipotle chicken, the lines are out the door. But that's the problem with Shake Shack, I think. The lines are literally not even out the door, but around the block. So it's still got a huge fan base. It's still got a great brand name, and I think it's got a nice run ahead of it.
So Chipotle, the Mexican place.
Yes.
So it looks like this fast casual food space, a bright spot.
Well, you know what it is? We mentioned this briefly yesterday. With oil down to $44 a barrel, we get about $600 of discretionary money into the pocket of the average American consumer. It's not enough to plan a trip to Las Vegas or Tahiti, but it isn't enough to take your kids out to a Chipotle or, in this case, a ShakeShack and get some good meals and get some comfort food. So I think that's pushing this thing too, because you saw numbers out of Burger King, they were great. You saw numbers out of Dunkin' Donuts earlier this quarter, they were great. So all these fast foods are having a good time right now, they really are.
Well, speaking of great numbers, when ShakeShack reported for the second quarter, overall revenue up 75%. They're expected to report November 5th. You think we're going to see more of the same?
I think you'll see it even beat that. I think, again, I think they're on the road to really, I think they have a better growth than Chipotle going down the road. I really do. Because first of all, they're a little lower, so I think you got a much more upward trend. So I think you'll see that continue. And again, it's a hot issue. It's a great brand, especially coming into the holiday season, because now they're in malls. So, I mean, people are going to be going to malls, and they'll be stopping by to get some food and shakes.
Holiday season. We promised we would tell you the hot toy of the holiday season. So drum roll, please, Alan.
Oh, drones, by far. That is the technology going forward. Now, one of the biggest drones companies, but it's not a small cap, but it is a great drone company. It's DJI Technology out of China. And they're doing a deal with Walmart. Now, how this fits into small cap, I mean, Walmart is supplied by small cap vendors, basically, millions of small cap vendors. So now you'll be able to get those orders out to the parking lot, and eventually they're going to have them so you can get them out right to your house. That technology is going to grow, and right now there's about 22 globally drone technology firms, small cap. And I think you're going to see them get bigger. And you're right, over this holiday season, I think you'll see a lot of drone sales.
We've been hearing that the FAA wants all the owners to be registered, so they'll certainly have their work cut out for them, given that I think more than 1 million are expected to be sold by Christmas.
Too late. You know, they can't register them that quickly. And people know that, so they're buying them now. Actually, Brookstone sells a lot of drones, and I passed the Brookstone up in Midtown the other day, and they were sold out of drones already. So I think you're going to see that a big thing this Christmas.
Because the big kids and the little kids like drones.
Oh, yeah, and you know, now they put cameras in them. They're waterproof. They can follow you down a river if you're in a kayak. So many things they do with it. So it's exciting technology.
Big IPO for one San Francisco-based medical company. Will have their story and what it means for investors. Small Cap Nation will be right back.
Guys, I got the jerseys. Oh, nice. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
I think that's me.
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up their number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. Oh.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
It's no secret that winter has come early for the biotech sector. Today, clinical stage biopharmaceutical myocardia went public. What's the market reaction?
Hi Jane, the South San Francisco-based biopharma name started trading under ticker symbol MYOK. The biotech company priced its IPO at $10, raising $54 million and offering 5.4 million shares. At the open of trade on the NASDAQ, we saw a pop higher for myocardia. Shares opened at $11.08 and managed to gain over 10% in its first hour of trade. Now, myocardia develops therapies for rare cardiovascular diseases and is in phase 1 trials for the heart condition hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
What's the outlook for the company?
Well, taking a closer look at myocardia, it posted $7 million in revenue for the last 6 months, ending on June 2015. That's a 20% increase from full-year revenue of the fiscal year for 2014. The company has not posted any profits because of high R&D as well as administrative expenses. Now, its top shareholder is Sanofi, and myocardia has raised almost $100 million in private funding so far and is backed by Third Rock Ventures. This year, Third Rock Ventures has pushed several biotech names into the public arena, including Blueprint Medicines, CytomX, as well as Global Blood Therapeutics.
For the broader market, many of the biotechs require substantial knowledge of individual product candidates. Give us a better sense of myocardia's focus.
Sure, Jane. Myocardia is an early-stage biotech company involved in discovering and developing therapies for rare cardiovascular diseases. The company kicked off operations in June of 2012 and is in the clinical stage of product development. Myocardia currently has 4 programs in its pipeline for 2 forms of heritable heart problems. The company's lead product candidate is MYK461, and that product is set to go for phase 2 clinical trials. The other 3 programs are in the initial developmental stage and are expected to go for phase 1 trials in the next 2 years.
Well, given the biotech downturn, can we expect a slowdown in companies within the sector going public?
You would think that offerings would be grinding to a halt, but several names continue to price despite recent action. This year, nearly 40 biotech and pharmaceutical companies have made their stock market debuts. Looking ahead at the IPO pipeline, Cura Oncology, a La Jolla, California-based company, plans to raise $60 million. Cura plans to list on the NASDAQ under ticker symbol KURA and is expected to price during the week of November 2nd. Separately, Vivenja Bio filed for an IPO last week and is seeking to sell up to $86.25 million worth of shares. The company specializes in targeted protein cancer therapies and will list under ticker symbol BITA. Separately, autoimmune biotech Apellis Pharmaceuticals filed for an $86 million IPO, and it plans to list under ticker symbol APLS. In terms of overseas names in the space, a Dutch cancer biotech company, Merus, filed with the SEC to raise up to $60 million in an IPO. An immunotherapy biotech, Hutchinson China Meditech, filed for a $100 million IPO. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the bottom line. Recent biotech IPOs, which include Edge Therapeutics, Novocure, as well as Aclaris Therapeutics, have been less than stellar. So it will be important to look at company fundamentals and product lineup for these names.
Coming up, we check in on the European market, straight to Paris when Small Cap Nation comes back.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are Type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family, there was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, how have the markets been behaving today?
Well, Jane, after a rally yesterday afternoon, before, of course, the Fed declared, because the markets were closed by the time it did yesterday evening, today the trend has been down across all the markets. And in fact, they appear to have given up much of the gain from last Friday. And the hint of a rate hike in December, or so the analysts think, has really sort of spooked the markets again. The analysts from Barclays said that we see this statement as a clear attempt by the FOMC to keep December on the table. So we're back in the maybe they will, maybe they won't game. On the data front, unexpectedly, the business and economic sentiment indicator for the Eurozone, which includes executive and consumer confidence, rose to its highest reading since April 2011. And this compares to the market expectation of a drop. And also the business climate indicator of the Eurozone increased to 0.34 in September. Production expectations and appraisal export order books remain broadly unchanged. And in addition, German unemployment in October fell more than was forecast.
Any small cap action in Europe today, Graham?
Today we're looking at pharma, and in particularly orphan diseases. These are diseases which are very rare in the population, so there's much less financial motivation for pharma companies to develop and maintain treatments for them. So to encourage companies to develop treatment, the regulators give these diseases what is known as orphan status. Well, with orphan status, treatments can be fast-tracked and a simpler process for approval, and then they have market exclusivity for 10 years after approval. So today we're looking at a Finnish-based company, Faron Pharmaceuticals Oy, coming to the London AIM. Quite a typical specialised medical company that the AIM hosts, which is a drug discovery and development company focused on creating novel treatments for medical conditions with significantly unmet needs. The company currently has a pipeline of clinical stage products focusing on acute organ trauma, cancer immunotherapy, and vascular damage. The company's lead candidate is branded as Traumakine, and this has been done to treat acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS as it's known, which is a rare but very nasty disease with about 170,000 annual patients in Europe and nearly 200,000 in the US, and some 40% fatality rate, so very nasty. The company has appointed a CRO to a pan-European phase 3 trial at the moment, and that's running at this time. To date, the company has entered into a licensing agreement with 2 pharmaceutical companies to carry out clinical development and commercialization of Traumakine in the Far East, China and Japan, etc. The company also owns preclinical immunotherapy candidate designed to prevent tumor growth and metastasis, which targets the tumor suppression immune molecule. The net proceeds of the placing and subscription will be used primarily to fund the trial, the pan-European trial we mentioned earlier about Traumakine, and to provide working capital. And Farron is led, as fairly typical in these companies, by an experienced management team, medical background, with a track record in the drug industry. And this is fairly typical of these highly focused, small cap pharma companies that are found on the London AIM.
Straight ahead, we are talking tech and semiconductors. A rumor swirling that Texas Instruments is ready to make a big move. The story when Small Cap Nation returns.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together
Graham, what else are we expecting?
becomes three. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward. Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories. It's going to allow this business to go to the next level. Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
The rumor mill on M&A action is heating up today in both healthcare and tech. Speculation continues. What's the latest from the semiconductor space?
That's right, Jane. In the large cap names, Pfizer buyout talks for Allergan were confirmed, while speculation continues over another semiconductor deal, and we've seen plenty this year. There's talk of Texas Instruments scooping up Maxim integrated products, while Analog Devices may be eyeing Maxim. Today, Atmel shares are taking a hit, down by over 4% at the open. Recently, Dialog Semiconductor shares have been taking a hit after announcing plans to acquire Atmel for $4.6 billion in a cash and stock deal.
Why are we seeing Atmel trade lower today?
Well, Atmel isn't alone in seeing red today. Other names in the semiconductor space are down on Thursday, most notably NXP Semiconductor and Freescale Semiconductor. The San Jose, California-based company Atmel is tracking UK-based Dialog lower. Now, Dialog shares have been taking a hit since it agreed to purchase Atmel. The company's strategy is to diversify its customer base away from Apple. Dialog is paying $10.42 per share for Atmel. The transaction has been approved by the boards of both companies. Because the sale of Atmel is based on stock of Dialog, there has been buzz about whether the deal will lead to fruition. Now, there are also concerns about debt and market cap.
Is this a trend that's expected to continue?
Well, demand for chips is heating up and is expected to continue. We do live in a mobile world, so the devices and systems that power a connected life will require more chips. If you take a step back and look at how companies operate in this space, the device makers are looking to buy system solutions versus suppliers. Global demand for chips is expected to keep on growing. It's not just in consumer electronics, but there are other sectors of projected growth, which include data processing, communications, automotive, as well as industrial applications.
Less football means less profit for one popular restaurant chain. Our buy, sell, hold segment is next when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena.
Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
In buy-sell hold actions today, ARDS was cut to sector weight at KeyBank. ABM Industries also cut to sector weight at KeyBank. Buffalo Wild Wings was slashed to market perform at Wells Fargo. Silicon Laboratories cut to market perform at William Blair. Vico was cut to neutral at JP Morgan. Thanks for joining us for Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.